Hello there, my name is Rachel Lucky talk about animation, and today we'll talk about a Clone High, the season finale, last two episodes, episode 9 and episode 10. And episode 9, I have to admit, it was hilarious. I could not stop laughing because that episode was sort of a mockery or parody of biopics. Yeah, I just enjoy it, especially they did it that sort of very unique way. They go back in the past of Mr. B to sort of tell his backstory, but each time he go back in the past, the art completely changes depending on the time period they actually is. And that is just so interesting because the first time period it was sort of the black and white era, specifically the rubber hose era of animation. The next arc was basically the 60s, 70s sort of art style that sort of kind of rough comic book sketching sort of style that sort of kind of edgy adult like they try to break sort of mainstream. And also the final art style they chose is basically the 80s and 90s or early 90s sort of art style of animation for cinema cartoon. And to be honest, Clone High fits to the regular 2000s sort of art style, so it sort of makes sense how they chose each specific time period of the art. It just complemented so well, especially Mr. Bean. The reason why he's telling his backstory because he feels betrayed about the principal because he was sort of a barrier of the evil secret society and blames everything on Mr. B. And Mr. B got tired and asked him, "Are you keep your promises?" And the principal sort of kind of forgot. I mean, he didn't forget. He just don't want to do it, and he just got pissed off. He decided to walk away. And I feel sort of interesting to see Mr. Bean sort of make arc that she has her own problems because she broke up JFK, she doesn't know what to do, and Mr. Bean sort of comfort her, telling his sort of backstory. But I love it is how Joan Arc reacted like, wow, like your problems are just so successful, so wow, because Mr. B lived his life because this robot was a professional actor, comedy, drama. Then he became a teacher, and you just how that happened is just sort of interesting and funny, especially what happened to his past, specifically his sort of twin brother, but he wasn't a twin brother because the whole family sort of make fun of that because the robot was sort of a gag for them. He got pissed off, but his real brother do believe, yeah, you are my brother, doesn't matter you're a robot. But I love that they use that sort of theme that I'm a robot, I don't have a soul. And that's sort of when this sort of trip to understand what a soul is or isn't. It's a running gag. The only way you get a soul is you be sort of baptized by water, by some robot. That doesn't really make sense, but yet it's just sort of hilarious. He also asked the question, the robot does cry. And I love that you said sort of running gang of the episode because every time Mr. B cries, he didn't cry. It's like something was leaking, something dropped on him, and that's sort of kind of funny too. He actually did cry. And that was sort of fun and interesting and sort of deep because you do understand his relationship to the principal and Mr. B, how much they care about each other, even that the principal was an asshole. He blamed everything on him. Even Mr. B explained to everything back to him that he did whatever you said exactly how you said it. It basically wasn't his fault. He just sort of reacted. But again, they sort of patch things up and once again become the bros they really are. But once again, it's just so enjoyable, so funny. Especially you find out what was the promise is that basically keep his brother back, basically clone him because he sort of died, attempted to bless Mr. B. Now he has a piece of hair, so the principal decided to clone him, but just the only problem is it took longer than he thought. This is the reason he didn't keep his promise, and he sort of said be bygones because he built something better, his own family, and that was sort of sweet, funny, ridiculous, random. It was great. That's why I really love this episode. It was so charming. Now, the next and final episode, it's all about the sort of behind the scenes what happened to the clones. They bring brainwash using a flu, we didn't know what it was. This all built up to a parody of The Last Man Standing or the survival games. Or basically the Hunger Games if you don't know what I'm talking about. It's basically that type of parody. But I really enjoyed this episode. It sort of kind of ended up a lot of things, like the relationship of Harriet Tubman and with Confucius, that she got tired of him because he doesn't have a motivation to actually do something, because he's that sort of rich kind of kid that doesn't really worry about things, but you kind of need to worry because this is your future. Who cares? I'm rich, and I really understand how Harriet Tubman felt and decided to break it off and walk away, and sort of automatically regretting it. But at the same time, she was sort of stuck in sort of scenario that you have to sacrifice your friend to survive to go to college. Yes, it's super weird, but once more, it's a parody. You still find out the relationship a little bit more about Cleo and her girlfriend, how they felt, and sort of who she would sacrifice, Cleo or her friend Ark, sort of situation that is sort of kind of fun, and also, yeah, you can see how Frida chose a Cleo than actually Ark. It was sort of interesting. You also see the sort of patching of the relationship of KFJ and uh, Abe. Sorry, my mind's sort of breaking down right now. How they sort of realize, KFJ realized, oh, you have a crush of Ark, but you can't say it because he was sort of being blackmailed by Columbus. And JFK sort of surprised you because he became the better man. He quite literally took the blackmail from Columbus, breaking of it, ripping it apart with his own butt. Once more, it was hilarious being JFK, like always, becoming a true bro from Lincoln. And I thought it was sort of interesting. And I love that he could do better. Yeah, I just enjoy that. How he said it, like, bros, if you want to date her, go ahead. I don't mind. I really respect and enjoy JFK because he became sort of the better man. But besides that, the whole end of the episode focused on Ark. The betrayal she feels like a lone wolf. The betrayal that everybody doesn't really like, or that sort of second doubts who she really is. That she's sort of snapping and basically kind of killing everyone, but not technically, but technically yes. So she could be the dominant alpha to be like the first one to graduate from high school, go to college. But you realize, oh no, this was sort of a trick to train the last clone to be the best, the ruthless, the one who has the most knowledge, so can easily take over the world without any difficulty. And that was sort of basically the plan. But I love it that Ark didn't like this. She feels really awful what she did. And it's also finding out what happened to the clones. They're about to erase their older memories. She's tempted to stop it. But between all this that I really enjoy, the former prisoner got fired with Mr. B. Yeah, I love how Mr. B reacted, how he just cussed up the higher principal. F you, you witch. I love that because he kind of broke character, but besides that, doing the Hunger Games sort of parody, the principal and Mr. B attempted to kill the former principal, how they felt, but accidentally killing all the secret organization instead by accident. But instead of that parody, oh, I knew this was gonna happen. I planned it all. The new principal now has charge control of Ark, control of the clones, control of everything. You can't stop me. And the way they did, but you see what happens at the end of the episode, Ark actually defeats her, reclaim all her friends. But the only problem is kind of show what actually happened in between. Like nobody realized who was doing these horrible things to them till they realize it's Ark. She did it because she feels she was betrayed by her friends. And now the show ends there as a cliffhanger because we just don't know what's gonna happen. And I kind of glad they do get season 2. But once again, you know, if you've been in my channel, I really dislike cliffhangers because you just don't know they gotta end the series there. You don't know you get a second season or not. Yes, they do. I hopefully they don't get canceled for any apparent reason, but yet these 2 episodes were great because they leave that serve parody so well, so enjoyable. I just enjoy it. It's just so fun. Hopefully, I didn't confuse anyone in my sort of talking because I was sort of having a mental freeze brain right now. I couldn't concentrate what to say, the sort of words, sort of the time. But hopefully, it makes sense. Right now, I got nothing else to say. Just well, I got nothing else to say. Just one thing: how you felt the final 2 episodes. You hyped for the next season or not? Tell me down below. Let me know. I got nothing else to say. Just thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.